Files, the Croatian champions.
The Croatian port of Split on the Dalmatian coast has seen many conflicts, changed hands many times in its 1700-year history. Thankfully, it escaped major damage in the recent Balkan violence. Split is proud of its contribution to Croatian history and to world sport in team games and individual events. Amongst the big names from this part of the world, Goran Ivanišević, one of the handful of world-class players. Toni Kukoc of the Chicago Bulls, perhaps the best basketball player to ever come out of Europe. It's also the home of Hajduk Split, a football club with a proud past and a difficult future. 1995 was a wonderful year for Hajduk, not only achieving the league and cup double on home soil under coach Ivan Katalinić, but reaching the highly profitable last stages of the European Champions League. But as they go into the second stage of the 1996 season, they're fighting tough battles, not least, according to the club president, the effect of war.
Yes, my job was very difficult during the war. There were hardly any sponsors. All the money went into the defence of our country. So the financial situation overall was difficult. Also, the young people, Hajduk's main supporters, Torcida as they're called, were called up to help their country, so the number of spectators dropped.
Only 75 metres from the stadium is the army headquarters. Sniper fire was a real danger in the early years of the war. For former New York Cosmos player Ivan Buljan, Hajduk's technical director, this was target practice with a difference.
I personally, in my office, was within range of the snipers for a year and a half, and I could have been shot at any time. I was very fortunate that it didn't happen.
The club was formed in 1911 by a group of students. The name Hajduk means bandits, which is what the university dean called the students because of the way they entered his office. The club's best years were in the 70s. For Dusko Marovic, a local sports historian born the year the club was formed, the football club has always been the local leader.
The situation altered after the First World War. Many sports were introduced to Split, but in all that change, the lead was taken by Hajduk.
But now its position as one of the main players in Europe is threatened. Nobody doubts Hajduk's pedigree or their ambition, but when they were part of Yugoslavia, the competition was tougher. Now they're enjoying independence, the restructured Croatian league is only just taking shape. It means fixtures like this one in Slavonski Brod, travelling by plane and bus via Zagreb to the other side of the country. Europe's elite will make it difficult for clubs of smaller nations to compete on equal terms. Hajduk's successful side of last season has broken up, and too many of their younger players are lured abroad, and they're now starting from a smaller launching pad. Slavonski Brod is close to the border with the Serbs, with the scars of war and a strong military presence to prove the point. The current fragile peace has changed life, which has improved in this region, but nothing in the Balkans has ever been certain, and Serbian-held territory across the river is a stark reminder of this.
I'm a citizen of Slavonski Brod, but I came from the other side of the river in Bosnia. My house has been destroyed, and I've been living here for 4 years now. We're on the border, and it's important for our town to have sporting events of this kind, because people can release their tension and take their minds off their problems for a while.
Hajduk's opponent is Macedonia, a club who suffered from the war but finished 5th in the championship last year. Small stadium, parochial surroundings, but capable of looking after themselves. It's Wednesday afternoon, but the visit of Hajduk is a big occasion, so there's a good turnout. Hajduk's current playing staff includes a wide selection of foreigners like Josip Skoko and Steve Horvat from Australia, and the Liberian international Masa Sarr, the first African to play in Croatia.
It's like playing for Paris Saint-Germain or playing for Manchester United, you know. It's a very, very big club, and I'm happy to be here.
Yet compared with earlier days, the Hajduk side playing in white is inexperienced and short of quality. With the best of the homegrown players having been transferred abroad, the league is weak overall. And typically, it was a scrappy piece of play that led directly to Macedonia's winning goal. turned out to be the only goal of the game. The big-timers from Split unexpectedly humbled.
Playing in such a big club as Hajduk, wherever you go, everyone wants to knock you off. It's like a big scalp to get. So it's always a tough game wherever you go. No matter if you play the bottom team, they're always trying to knock Hajduk off so they can say, oh, we've beaten Hajduk.
So Hajduk continue the struggle on two fronts: to retain their membership of Europe's elite, which will be hard if not impossible, and to rebuild the club after an unlikely period of success, all against the backdrop of war. This under new coach Mirko Jozić, the man who led Yugoslavia to victory in the World Youth Cup in 1987 in Chile. As they fight to retain their title, first they must make up a 6-point deficit on their great rivals Croatia Zagreb, the leaders. More tough times ahead for Hajduk.